We all know that Austin, for a long time, was one of the most value-driven cities in the country, but with prices skyrocketing, today's mission, can you even find a single-family home with an Austin address under $300,000? Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, there's not a lot to choose from. If I type in here, single family, Austin, under 300,000, I get 22 results. And going through these, there's a whole lot of basically teardowns, uninhabitable, being sold as lots. They just still happen to have a house on them. But there's a couple of them in here that I think could be worthwhile. Let's go check them out. Starting off here in East Austin. Now this neighborhood is really cool because there's so many neat coffee shops and restaurants and nightlife and live music and stuff like that. Like, it's one of the most rapidly changing locations. You've got tons of access to parks, and this appears to be the cheapest single family home in Austin right now. This one's listed at $230,000. With that, you get about 7,000 square foot lot. One peculiarity to this location is most of it's been rezoned to the zoning code SF3. Now what that allows for is any lot over 5,700 square feet, which this would qualify for, to have an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, whether that's a garage apartment or a traditional duplex on the property. So you could actually have two different homes here, or the possibility of expanding this. Now, there's some regulations and such. If you want to chat more about that, let me know. There's a ton of new construction around this area. There's a lot of remodels around this area. So this one could be ripe for the picking. Now, coming inside though, this is obviously a pier and beam foundation, typical for the 1950s. The benefits of that mean you can actually access what's underneath the house. So if you wanted to do a remodel, if you wanted to make some structural changes, like moving some of these walls around, you can definitely do that. It's a lot easier than going through a concrete slab. This house for $230,000 in this location is, unbeatable. That said though, once you really start looking at some of the condition of the property, this one's probably a better candidate for a full tear down and rebuild. Now, taking a look at some of the comps in the area, homes that have been rebuilt, built into two ADUs, essentially having two homes on the same property, are selling right around $600 per square foot. And honestly, given how big and pretty this lot is, that's probably one of the best uses for it. And given $600 a square foot, there's definitely some investment opportunity here. Yeah, for $230,000, this is definitely far from move-in ready. That said, huge potential. So if you're looking for some investment opportunity, this could be what you've been looking for. But let's move onwards. Let's go up in price just a little bit because there are some options in Austin. Now, this house is originally a 1950 build. We're about 10 minutes from the Domain. So from a investment perspective, in terms of good tenants, you're really close to Amazon, you're close to Indeed. All their corporate offices are at the Domain. 1950s, you get so much charm, but this house is a great example of what it's like to be completely remodeled. Now, it's smaller, it's only 800 square feet, but you've got 2 bed and 1 bath. And again, everything has been redone in here. So your kitchen is nice and new, you've got newer appliances, you've got cabinets. It's just actually a really nice space for the money. And again, to be 10 minutes of the Domain for this price range, this one's currently listed at $299. It really is hard to get much better than this. Now again, being a little bit under a quarter of an acre, you've got a lot of space here to potentially expand this, to build on a garage at some point. And this area is growing tremendously quick. It's within Austin, you're really close to a lot of employers, a lot of shopping, restaurants, and that gives a lot of potential to this area. It's changing really fast, and there's a lot of good investment opportunity here. Taking a look at the rent comps, just 2 streets over, a 2-bed, 1 bath, very similar to this, rented for $1,800 a month, making this a prime investment opportunity, or a perfect one to move into, maybe house hack a little bit, and then keep this in your rental portfolio as you eventually grow out of it and want some more space. Since this one already has been remodeled, there's not much more value to be added here without expanding, but it's on such a large lot, this would not be a bad one to hold on to 10, 15 years down the road, eventually either rebuild or expand this one. Now for this last house, we came out in a little bit of the burbs. So this area of Austin to the very eastern edge, technically it's outside of city limits. You still get an Austin address here, but your Del Valley ISD, we're right on that cusp. But technically, this is Austin. Needless to say, it's a little bit more suburban out here, and if you're looking for something more move-in ready, this is definitely a good option for you. And from an investment perspective, this is an area that a lot of people like. Why? because you're down the street from Tesla, you're down the street from all of the suppliers for them, and obviously being such a large factory brings in a big workforce. Now, the other little cool part about not being within city limits is the tax rate is low. If you aren't familiar with Texas, obviously we have no state income tax here, but our property taxes are higher in order to make up for that, meaning that we've got one of the highest rates of anywhere in the country. And again, being outside city limits means it gets you out of paying those city taxes. Coming on in, it's a nice space. They've recently done some vinyl plank flooring. Obviously the paint has been redone as well. Some of the appliances here in the kitchen have been updated. This is a really simple three-bed, two-bath home. But honestly, this one's listed at $285,000. It's really nice for what you get. It's a little bit more suburban, of course. You're a little bit less in the city, but you're just down the street from it. You're about 12 minutes from East Austin. It's an easy spot to live in. Now, at $285,000, I'm fully expecting this house to get multiple offers. This is the most aggressively priced home in the neighborhood, and it's nicely presented. Overall, in good condition, and they've done some nice things to update it to actually make this one move-in ready. So from the perspective of a relocation buyer, someone looking to move here and keep expenses as low as possible, or especially someone looking for an investment home, a rental home, this really can be a great option for the money, especially when you factor in things like taxes and the proximity to a whole lot of different employers. Now, obviously for this video, we wanted to keep the parameters to strictly Austin. So we didn't include any of the suburbs. Obviously there's more opportunity outside. You get a little bit more space and a little bit less rehab needed. But it's crazy to see just in person how expensive Austin has become and how little, honestly, you get for 300. For 300 grand, there's also a lot of investment opportunity there. There's great rental home opportunities out there. You know, there's definitely potential. There's also potential for some flips, but there just isn't very much to choose from, and that's kind of crazy to see, again, coming from Austin, which used to be a huge value city in the US. But anyways, if you have any questions about any of the listings you saw in the video, shoot me a message down below. All my contact info is there. I'd love to get you those details. And if you're looking to buy, sell, invest in Austin, I'd love to be that resource for you. Call, text, email me anytime at all. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all in the next one.